Well, let's cut across to my colleague Yash Jain, who's at the Bombay Stock Exchange, which is always, a hub of a lot of activity. Of course, we showed you shots earlier of the puja happening at the BSE, the oldest exchange in Asia, really. Yash, you have, someone who's been at the BSE for the puja, Mr. Choksi. I can see him for, 40, 50 years. And of course, you've got a few others with you as well. Happy Diwali to all of you.
Well, first of all, Prashant, a very happy Diwali to you guys in the studio, Prashant, Nigel, Sonia. And this place here, every Mahurat trading feels a little incomplete without being at this spot. And that is the BSE Convention Hall. And today we plan to do something little different. We have investors ranging across 3 generations, right, to give their piece of advice in terms of how their investment style has changed over the years. We have Kishanbhai Ratilal Choksi. For people who don't know, that's KR Choksi. We'll start with the youngest member of this panel, that is Kishanbhai. Kishanbhai, you've seen multiple cycles. You've seen multiple new companies, new kinds of investors. For you, today, are you being forced to change your investment style to be relevant in this new market, or does the old trick still work?
No, basically, previously we were looking only at the Indian economy. Today we have to look at the world economy. You should have knowledge of Indian economy and the global economy. So the developments that are happening in India and in the world, that is affecting the corporate results. So you have to be more particular about your investment. So the knowledge of this industry is very much required, because if you select a company, then in what industry it is working, and if that industry is doing well, then your company that you have selected will give a good result.
That's the experience that Kishanbhai brings, and even today when I go to his office, he would be reading balance sheets, understanding companies, talking about what's happening in the globe and in India. We also have Uttam Bagri, the chairman of BSE Brokers Forum. Uttam, for you take some bits from Kishanbhai's experience, some bits from what the new age investors are doing. How do you bring these two together to inculcate in your investment style?
So we have always been the sandwich generation, right? Bado ki bhi suno, bachcho ki bhi suno. But it's very interesting, because the generation of today, they are really digital natives. And the speed at which they respond to technology changes, the speed at which they change. They could be a lovely running business. Suddenly there's one scandal and the entire generation moves away so rapidly. And I studied in college when there was no internet.
Correct.
And look what we have here. So the entire business models are changing. If you have a great factory and if everything's running fine, suddenly you have a 3D printing technology and suddenly out of date. So the rate of change is so strong, and this is probably the biggest thing. So if I have a company which is doing very well, as on today, and seems to be doing will expect to do very well sometime down the line, you have to look a bit further in terms of technological change and the behavior of these guys. How they're going to, who are the final consumers? But we are a young country, and still it is a young world. So that's one thing that we are taking care of, but baki the basic rules remain the same. And the fundamental rule which I have learned from the seniors is the quality of management. Okay. If there's a good guy in charge, if it's a good guy in charge of your office or my office of any organization, they find a way. So the first bet is on the management, and the next bet is probably on the sector and the business.
First bet on the management, next is the sector and the business. And you also spoke about looking forward. Well, who better to essentially talk to us about looking forward than the new set of investors who've come into the market. You consume businesses like Zomato, like so many of these Policy Bazaar, new age companies. What is the new investment style, understanding that you bring to this market?
So see, there are multiple ways that our generation invests in. One being that there's so much knowledge already given to them. Not too many people are actually jumping in and finding out what's actually happening in the company. You have multiple ways and tools where information is given to you. And you don't know what to rely on, and you end up relying on one of the many. So I feel that's a very immature way of looking at companies, because of which so many of these startup companies who've just got listed have seen that big boom because of the full euphoria. I personally believe in the more orthodox style of investing because I've seen money come only through that and not through anything else. Where we've been taught about large cap stocks and the stocks that have actually lasted and sustained the market for like 30, 40 years. Like you'll never see any of the big people like Tata's, Ambani's, HDFC ever shutting shop. You can never think of them also shutting shop. So might as well invest in companies that are never going to shut shop, rather than a new company that has just seen the market and not experienced it. And that's very risky for me when I see these startups coming and listing themselves. I'm more of a kind of guy who waits, sees whether they are ready for the market or not, and only once they are, that's when, okay, fine, here's my money, now you can take it and now you can grow.
Well, it's so important to hear that from a new age investor, that they want to assess businesses. But I guess important piece of advice coming from all three generations, I think somewhere it's about time also, which understanding fits well at what time, what company. Most crucial but interesting chat. Thank you so much, guys. With that, it's back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you so much, Yash. It was absolutely wonderful to see three generations of investors, and just goes to show that doesn't matter what age you are, this equity market is so inclusive that everyone can thrive here, right? Thanks a lot. And those are some pearls of wisdom coming in from three different generations, and so much passion in this market as well.